What is going on, guys? We're here today in Austin, Texas at this $14 million property. And in today's video, we're going to teach you absolutely everything you need to know about shooting the best real estate videos.
Could have been 30, could have been a G. Should have never snitched. Why you take it to police? Now they're looking at you funny when you're walking down the street, looking at you like food, trying to see where they can eat. I'm like, I need that breeze. I feel sorry for them that they copy these flow, but they said that it's a new flow.
So let's talk about how to see outside of the windows. I'm shooting on the Sony a7S III, so I'm going to either be at 640 ISO or 12,800 ISO, and I'm going to have my meter at plus 1.7. Do you see how you can see perfectly outside the windows? Now, it also helps that we're shooting at the right time of day. If it was the sun above the house, it's gonna be a lot darker in this room. If the sun was too low, I'm not gonna see everything. So right now, the sun's just above the window line. So I have light coming in, which brightens the room. Here's a plus 0.3. You can see outside the window, but you're losing all the details. Now, other times people are shooting with it too bright, and then now you can't see outside the windows. Now, another huge piece of advice is you wanna set up your exposure for the shot that you're looking to get. I'm looking to get this shot right here. I'm not looking to get this shot, right? Because I can't see the pool anymore. So right here, it's gonna read too bright, but back here, it's gonna be too dark. Right now it's at plus 3, which is underexposed. However, you're gonna speed ramp into it, and then right here is your shot. So you want to also expose for the money shot. So how do you land on the right exposure? You choose an ISO and then you switch your f-stop. The best thing you can do is have your meter at plus 1.7 for the money shot. It's not bad, dude. 3 feet.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off.
People always ask, like, Claudio, how do you have all this energy? Most of it's natural, but every once in a while, it's a little ripper. It's something to take off the edge. This one's good. This is a good video. In today's video, you're going to learn the best equipment to use for real estate videography. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the perfect f-stop for shooting real estate video. When it comes to wide angle, you'll start off with 2.8. You can go all the way to 2.8. all the way up to f22. Don't let anyone tell you that f22 is blurry. People always go, oh, Claudio, how are the Studio 910 videos so sharp? We're shooting from 2.8 to f22. Now you're probably wondering, what about the detail lens? So we're on the 50mm now, and then you go anywhere from 1.2. And I do like 1.2, but I also like up to 2.5 to 2.0. So this is what it looks like, and it looks super crisp every single time. So the f-stop is very simple. You'll work through those ranges, and remember, it'll always look crisp as long as you have your focus correct when it comes to the detail shot. Now, if you're using a Laowa manual lens, then you'll just keep it on infinity. If you keep it on infinity, it'll look perfect every single time. So now it's time to talk about the white balance. People are always wondering, how do you get the shots go from here to here? You see how everything is perfectly white. The secret to that is we're using auto white balance. On a Sony camera, it's going to be really spot on. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to go to, let's say, 4300. Now the shot's in 4300. The room looks good, but here's what most people do. Now they're in 4300, and then they go to another room, and they go to another room. Now the shot's blue, it's too yellow, and it's fighting. It's because they're rushing through their shoots. It's better to use auto white balance and use a little bit of plugins on your Final Cut Pro than to mess up the entire shoot. So you're probably wondering, Claudio, how do you get these big shoots? I want to shoot a mansion. I want to shoot a nice house. Well, here's how you do it. This is what my first videos look like right there. That was my first video. It's just average, or it's just okay, right? My first videos, they were just all right, but then they got a little bit better, and then they got a little bit better, and they got better and better and better and better. And before you know it, we started shooting the best houses in the world. $200 million houses, $100 million houses, whatever. Anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, we're shooting the best houses at Studio 910, and it happened step by step by step by step. Here's one mistake you don't want to do. You don't want to start off as like this. Your average Joe, right? And now you have a mansion. Okay, you're average Joe and you have a mansion. You are not ready for it. What's gonna happen? You're gonna go shoot it, and you're not gonna be ready. And then the word will get around that, hey, average Joe is just pretty average. all these realtors, they all know each other. They know each other from Florida, from Austin, from Atlanta, from Beverly Hills. They all know, they're all friends. So don't ruin your reputation early on. Start off with regular houses and then move up to a nicer house and then a nicer house and then a nicer house. And then boom, all of a sudden you're at, $14 million houses in Austin, Texas, and you're ready to cook. You don't want to start off too early. You want to work your way up, baby steps every single time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And when you win big. All the Austin boys in the house! The boys are out here. Yeah, we're ready to cook. We're cooking. Screenshot right when it hits 14,000. All right, I got it. 14K. Light work. So in the spirit of Austin, Texas, we're here with...
My name's Jeff.
We're here with Jeff from Known Productions. You guys have likely seen a lot of his videos are absolutely popping off. But, as somebody here in Austin that's crushing it, what would you say is the key to really dominating real estate media?
One thing that I've noticed is knowing how to hypnotize people, but not break the hypnosis.
When you're watching the video, you're hooked from the very first few seconds, but then you don't want to scroll away. How do you keep people from scrolling on these real estate videos?
Whenever you are using the song to a video, that's essentially the storyline that you're using on the edit as well. So you're allowing the song to do a lot of the heavy hitting and the heavy work for you as you're doing the edit. But if you're doing an agent video, you got to find ways to talk super simply to the audience and not allow the agent to get real big with their words.
Just keeping the video simple and visually just super good.
Yeah, some people I think overthink their visuals because if you go too cinematic or too far in one direction, people might not click with it, especially the viewers that it needs to reach. And it has to almost pop a little bit differently than what people are used to seeing in real estate.
How long should a shoot take? That's a very good question. In the beginning, drum roll please, 4 hours. If you want to do great videos in the beginning, it's going to take you 4 hours. Meaning you shouldn't be shooting super mansions, right? You should be shooting regular houses. Even a regular house, let's say you're shooting a $500,000 house, a $300,000 house, a $2 million house if you live in Florida, right? Shoot a regular house, take 4 hours, tell the agent it's going to take longer. Manage expectations. As you get better, hear me out, as you get better, that 4 hours will go down to about 3 to 2 hours. So you go from 3 to about 2 hours. When you get really good, a regular shoot, a daytime shoot will take you about 2 hours. So you're gonna increase your efficiency about 50%. Now, you're not gonna go to 1 hour shoots. You wanna make bangers, you're not gonna go to 1 hour shoots. Of course, there's people who can make bangers in 1 hour, right? But it's not really a banger.
This is not a banger, and I know bangers.
So a 1 hour shoot, it's not really feasible. You're gonna be around 2 hours at your fastest. Now, when it comes to a day to night shoot, that number goes from 2 hours all the way up to around 6 hours. Just to manage expectations, it takes around 6 hours because here's the thing. You shoot during the day, and then you'll notice like right here, it's not bright, it's not dark, it's the awkward phase of the day, right? That's when I'm shooting this moment right now. The day to night shoots, they take about 6 hours, even when you're most efficient. So make sure you charge for it. It's a long day. So just remember, those day to night shoots are a lot longer than you expect. So weather is also super important when it comes to shooting. You don't want to shoot when it's all cloudy. You want to shoot when it's sunny and everything looks perfect. Here's a shot of the house, the front of the house when it's cloudy, and here's a shot of the front of the house when it's pretty, right? Do you see the difference? It makes a huge difference when it's pretty. When it's pretty, you're selling the emotion, you're selling the feeling of the house. And if you want to become a 1% videographer, you want to get the 1% opportunities like houses like this, you got to nail the weather because agents, they're selling the dream, they're not selling the nightmare. So make sure you nail the weather, even if you live somewhere where the weather sucks. Don't tell me that you don't have good weather because I live in Florida. There's always a cloud here and there and I reschedule shoots all the time. As you can see, this room is perfectly lit right now, but here's what it looks like without the light. You can see it makes a huge difference. So here is everything you need to know about lighting. The first thing is if you're shooting a regular house, the best time to shoot a regular house is noon to 2 o'clock. That's when the sun's above the house, you won't have any shadows. Now, if you want to get a little bit more cinematic, something like this, then you need to do either early in the morning or in the evening as the sun's starting to set. One more thing to consider is the nighttime shots for the day to night transitions. At nighttime, you want to shoot it right when it's about to be perfectly dark, but not when it's past dark. When it's past dark, the sky is black and you're missing a lot of lighting. Lighting makes a huge difference in real estate videos. All right, so the next thing you want to consider is shooting with the song in mind. This is one thing that will take your videos from here to here. So just look at some bangers. Here we go. That's a banger. How about this? Banger, 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 boring. Why do people use music like this? This music sucks. Let's get back to the banger. Banger. If you want your shoots to be crazy, what you gotta do is you take a song, you click play, you choose one song, you click play, you put that in your pocket. See, now the phone is in your pocket and you shoot for 5, 6, 3, 4 hours. For hours, you have a song in your pocket and you're ripping. If you have a song in your pocket, you chose a song beforehand, then it's going to look amazing. And people go, oh, how about the copyright? Hey, this is not legal advice. So I would consult with a lawyer if you're wondering about the copyright. Here's the shot list. First thing you wanna do is you wanna make sure you absolutely get the front of the house. You wanna get the back of the house. You wanna get the kitchen. You wanna get the living room. You want to get the master bedroom. You wanna get the master bathroom. You wanna get anything that's important. And here's what you don't wanna get. Let's go ahead, drum roll please. Everything that's just cute. Here's the thing, is most real estate videographers, they get nervous. And they get nervous, oh my gosh, if I skip the laundry room, if I skip this random bedroom that's small that has a tiny little bed, but a tiny little view of the backyard, oh, the agent's gonna get mad. Here's what you're missing. Managing expectations. If you could just manage expectations with the agent in person, and here's what it looks like. Here's the script, ready? Hey, how did the shoot go? Oh, shoot went really good. I'm glad you asked. Hey, we focused on the living room, like the mantle, the light was coming in. We focused on the front of the house, the night shots of the front of the house. It's gonna look so great. We got all those great shots, but here's what we didn't. We just kind of skipped over those extra bedrooms, those extra bathrooms, the laundry room. And is that cool? And they're like, oh yeah, no, that's totally cool. You're the expert. As long as you manage expectations in person, you'll never have trouble. The problem is most videographers is they'll skip something. They don't tell the agent before they go home that they skipped it, and then the agent has a problem. And remember, you only have to do this once. You don't have to do this over and over again. You do it once, manage expectations, and you're good for life. So now we're here in this beautiful living room, and we're gonna show you guys all the kinds of shots that you can get using just one room. You'll see that this room is absolutely incredible. And the first shot that we're gonna get is a straight push shot. As I'm getting this straight push shot, I'm gonna push from here to there, but I have to go over here. So when you're going over here, you don't go around it like this, like you're not like moving around it. You're going to make sure that as we're passing it, we kind of float over it. Let me show you guys how to levitate. I have a nice center focus right here. I go back as far as possible. I'll push in, and then I'll levitate one hand, and then reach all the way as far as you can and keep it straight throughout the whole shot. And that's the straight push shot. It works great for all different kinds of houses. So this next shot that you can do is called a straight push curve. Now the curve adds a little bit of spice into your videos. Let me show you guys how far back we have to go to really nail this. So this far back is good because this is all gonna get speed ramped out of. Now we're gonna start going in, straight push, and I here start curving, and I'm using the fireplace as a bit of a guide for my eyes. And that's what causes the shot to not only look dynamic, but also accurate. As long as you have those X grid on your camera, you can use that X as your center point. Without the curve having a center point, your shot looks very mediocre. So the third kind of shot that you can get, which makes all the difference in your videos, is a straight push rise curve. So the first thing you'll do is push straight, then you'll curve, you'll switch from pan follow on your gimbal to pan tilt follow, and then you'll use your wrist to get the camera to go up. So straight push, curve, pan tilt follow, and go up using your wrist, I'm still using the center focus right here. The center focus is the middle of that fireplace. That straight to curve to tilting up makes the shot a lot more euphoric. So this next shot is called an orbit shot. Now it's exactly how it sounds because you're going to orbit. So this is my starting composition. And remember, we're using this as a center point the whole time. If we didn't have a center point, then the shot looked loose and very sloppy. So we're as far back as we can go. I'm pushing in, keeping that center point, and boom. I'm like reaching into it. That spin could go into another shot. So now we've switched over to the 50mm, which is perfect for detail shots. So the first thing you're looking for is you're looking for a subject. Now in this case, this fireplace looks really great because you have a little bit of light hitting it. This is foreground. This is foreground. That plant is all foreground, and your center is your fireplace. I'm gonna spring load my gimbal, which simply means I'm gonna give myself something to work into. and then boom. The spring load of the gimbal, what that does is it makes it so that when you actually get the shot, when you're in the composition, like right here, now we're in the composition, it's not shaking. I go up a little higher, I'm spring loading my gimbal, and I'm rolling down nice and smooth, nice and easy into it, making sure I go over those pillows, and that's how you get an orbiting detail shot. So a sliding detail shot is really simple. You're gonna find yourself a composition that you like, and I'm just gonna slide, simple like this. So I'm making sure that my lines are parallel and horizontal, and I'm gonna slide like that, just by moving my legs like this. So now it's time to talk about how to ninja walk. You gotta loosen your body. The first thing you wanna do is you wanna bend those knees. Bend those knees and hunch over a little bit, and you wanna move like this. Second thing you wanna do is you wanna subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, for what we've noticed, research shows that videographers that don't subscribe to 910 Academy, that their shots are about 13% shakier than anyone else. So that's one of those things that you gotta hit that subscribe and smash that like button. Another thing is you're walking too slow. When I shoot, I'm sprinting, right? Just imagine if you're in a car on a gravel road and you're driving kind of slow, you feel every single bump. But when you're ripping, you're just ripping. Does that make sense? You wanna lock in like this. You got that composition, you're just like. And one thing also is you wanna make sure that you lean over those countertops. So lean over the countertops, lean over the furniture. You wanna lean over the beds so that you get extra reach. The reason the extra reach is important is because for those speed ramps, if the shot stops here, then your editor has very, few frames to work with. But if your shot ends here, it makes a huge difference. I'm making sure that my composition is good. I'm really bracing myself, making sure that all my lines are straight, that these lines are straight, that these lines are straight, and then I let it rip. All right, guys, now it's time to talk drone shots. You have your wide shots, you have your details, but you cannot forget your drone shots. You only need like 2 or 3 drone shots. That's it. You just got orbiting shots on the detail and on the wide, so you probably should get some orbiting shots from the air. You need it on a wide shot, and if you have a Mavic Pro, then go ahead and get a little 3X. The feature that we like to use is called Active Track. Draw a little square around the house, just like that. And now you'll see the square and your drone will kind of keep the house centered, but you wanna make sure you wait till you see that little dot. Now you can see the dot is in the center of the house. You're probably wondering, what's the settings for the camera? I prefer auto when it comes to flying the drone. As you're moving around the house, it keeps the exposure looking even throughout the whole shot. And then also, when it comes to your actual camera settings, I use D-Log. When I'm using the wide shots, on the 3X shots, I'm using D-Log M. Right now, we don't have any sun on the house. We're just gonna wait for that cloud to move, and then you'll see the difference that it makes. You wanna make sure that you actually set up for the speed ramp, and now you start ripping. Now you start ripping. You see that? You start doing orbit just like this. Oh yes, that's money, 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 money. Now we're ripping. And that makes all the difference. The next thing you wanna do is you wanna also make sure that you get a 3X shot. Now, if you don't have a 3X drone, no worries. But for those that have a 3X drone, think of this as like, this is your 15mm in the air. You click the 3X, now you're on D-Log M. And what you're gonna do is you're going to press record. So sometimes I'm looking down into the house from above the trees. You wanna make sure that the sticks go towards each other to get an orbit. You wanna make sure that you're going up, like changing the height of the drone. And also you wanna make sure you're changing the distance from your subject. So in this case is a house. We're pushing towards each other. You see how I'm pushing up and I'm also pulling out? That's what makes a shot look super crazy. And this is a game changer when flying the drone. I cannot cover speed ramps. I gotta dig deep. I gotta dig deep. I gotta dig deep. Speed ramping is one of those things that makes a huge difference in your videos. So here's the photo finish. The photo finish is like right above the edge of the pool. That's what looks really nice. However, you gotta keep reaching as far as you can, but don't fall in the pool. And also you wanna go back far. So right here, this is a much better starting point. I wanna get my lines nice and straight, and I wanna make sure I prepare to reach over the edge of the pool. Slightly engage, roll into it. Nice and smooth, nice and smooth. And then you wanna reach over the edge of the pool like this. Reach over the edge like this and start back far enough. And that's how you get perfect speed ramps every single time. So now it's time to talk day to night shooting. Day to night shooting is a massive upgrade you can make to your videos. You're gonna make a lot more money with day to night shooting. First thing you wanna think about is at nighttime, do you already have all the lights on? Things that can become very frustrating at nighttime is, do you have the fireplaces ready? All these things people don't fully consider until it's nighttime and now they're stressed out. You really only have about 5 to 7 minutes of perfect lighting, because when the sky goes pitch black, it looks dark. This is way too dark for day to night shooting. You want it to look a little bit more like this. You see how the sky still has an ombre? It's not pitch black. So the first thing you want to consider is, where do you start? I love the way that this looks. So you want to figure out, like, where am I standing? And then you want to have an anchor point. So let's say that this was my anchor point, and I'm not going to move this till tonight. So let's say this is my anchor point. And then you also want to have a starting point on your camera. Right now I have the rule of thirds plus the diagonal on my camera, so I can actually see that this is the center point right there. I'd walk like this, and then at nighttime I would just walk that same path, and this is my center point, like right there. Now I'm gonna show you guys a little bit more of an advanced one, because having it go straight and then up and then curving is gonna make it more interesting. I have my center point, so I'd go straight, go straight. As I'm getting close to the roof, I'll go to pan, tilt, follow, and I'll start to twist my wrist up like this, and then I just kind of, boom. That's gonna make for a really great shot. And then at nighttime, I'll do it again. All right, guys, it is officially nighttime, and one thing that's super important is making sure your lights are on. So we're gonna go to the actual shot. The sky looks really nice. It's almost black, it's not totally black, and this is, pretty much time to get shooting. This is where it makes the transition. So we're gonna go back to the spot where we started. Here's where my wood chip is, right? My wood chip's here, and also I was using that as my center point of focus. I'm back in pan follow mode. I'm gonna walk forwards. As I'm getting close, go to pan, tilt, follow. Start to look up, boom, 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 boom. And then boom, go back to nighttime, and we're gonna finish off like that. I will get that over and over and over again, just to ensure that I actually have something to work with. Here is all the equipment that you need to get started, and we're also going to talk about the settings while we're at it. So the first thing is the RS3 Pro or the RS4 Pro. I like to use the Pro version when it comes to the gimbal. The regular gimbal, like the RS4 or the RS3, missing the word Pro, it's not Pro. The Mini's a nice gimbal, but it's not an RS3 or an RS4 Pro. The Pro makes a huge difference, and the setting that I like to use is slow. That's the only setting, literally the only setting that we're using is slow. We're usually shooting in pan follow mode, and then sometimes we were pushing straight and going up, we use pan tilt follow by using the toggle on the side. Very simple. You don't have to overcomplicate your gimbal. So now it's time to talk camera. My suggestion is to get the Sony a7S III. If you can't afford a Sony a7S III, then I would suggest getting a Sony ZV-E1. You're missing a viewfinder and it overheats in the sun. Here are the two lenses that you need. You need a 10mm Laowa or a 12mm. Both are great options, and a 50mm Sony. You can get a 1.4 or 1.2 Sony. They're both great, but that's all you need. Settings are super simple. 4K 60. Your shutter speed is 1/125. And when it comes to your ISO, you're gonna use 2 ISOs. Inside, you're going to use 12,800 ISO. At nighttime, you'll use 12,800 ISO. Outside, you'll use 640 ISO during the daytime. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what do I do for my Canon? What do I do for my Lumix? What do I do for this camera or that camera? You switch to Sony. So if you want to get shots that look like this, it's super important to make sure you're shooting in a log profile. The log that we're using is PP8 on the Sony a7S III, and then on the ZV-E1, you're gonna use the log function. Log has more dynamic range. Also, you can't really apply as much of a creative look to it. So the drone that I suggest is either getting a DJI Mavic 3 Pro, you can get a Mavic 4 Pro, or if you're just getting started and you've never flown this big girl before, get a mini drone. The reason why I suggest a mini drone is because you're going to crash your big drone, and it's a lot more expensive to crash your big drone than it is to crash your small drone. This is all you need to get started. You need a gimbal, you need a camera, you need a 50mm, you need a 10mm, you need a drone, or you could get a mini drone. It's that simple. Don't overcomplicate it. All those directions are exactly what I do on every single shoot, and I've shot billions of dollars worth of real estate. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned a ton, make sure you hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video.